You send a message. A simple message. Nothing dramatic. Maybe it's to someone you like. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a group chat. A minute passes. Then 10. Then an hour. No reply. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. They're probably busy. Maybe they haven't seen it. Maybe their phone is dead. But despite all those logical explanations, something strange begins to happen. You check your phone again, and again, and again. You replay the conversation in your head. Did I say something wrong? Was I annoying? Did they lose interest? Should I send another message? Why am I even thinking about this? It's just a text. But your heart doesn't care. Your stomach doesn't care. Your brain doesn't care. Because somewhere deep inside your mind, something ancient has been activated. Something that evolved long before phones. Long before cities. Long before civilization itself. A system so old that it once determined whether your ancestors lived or died. And today, that same system can be triggered by a message left on read. Which raises a strange question. Why does rejection hurt so much? Why can a stranger's opinion ruin your day? Why can a breakup feel physically painful? Why does being excluded from a group hurt more than a broken bone for some people? And why, despite knowing that rejection is a normal part of life, do humans fear it so much? The answer begins with a mystery. Because from a purely logical perspective, rejection shouldn't matter nearly as much as it does. Think about it. Every day, billions of people exist without knowing you. Most of them will never think about you. Most of them will never meet you. And yet being rejected by a single person can completely change your mood. A teenager gets left out of a party and feels miserable for days. An employee doesn't get promoted and starts questioning their worth. Someone gets rejected on a first date and suddenly wonders if they'll ever find love. The reaction seems completely disproportionate. It's as if the brain is treating a social problem like a life-threatening emergency. And in a way, that's exactly what's happening. Scientists have found that social rejection activates some of the same brain regions involved in physical pain. Your brain doesn't draw a sharp line between getting punched in the face and getting excluded from a group. Both register as threats. Both demand attention. Both hurt, which is strange. Because if rejection is so painful, then surely evolution should have gotten rid of it. After all, pain is unpleasant. Anxiety is unpleasant. Fear is unpleasant. Why would natural selection preserve a system that makes humans suffer? The answer is that evolution doesn't care about happiness. Evolution cares about survival. And for most of human history, survival depended on one thing above all else. Other people. Humans are often described as the dominant species on Earth. But our ancestors weren't dominant because they were strong. Compared to many animals, they were weak. They didn't have claws. They didn't have sharp teeth. They couldn't fly. They couldn't run particularly fast. A single human alone in the wilderness was vulnerable. What made humans powerful wasn't the individual. It was the group. Groups could hunt together. Groups could defend themselves. Groups could share food during difficult times. Groups could care for children. Groups could pass knowledge from one generation to the next. The tribe was humanity's greatest weapon. But there was a catch. The benefits only existed if you belonged. If you were accepted. If you were part of the group. Imagine living 50,000 years ago. You wake up one morning and discover that your tribe no longer wants you. Nobody shares food with you. Nobody protects you. Nobody helps you. Nobody trusts you. Suddenly, every challenge becomes harder. Finding food becomes harder. Avoiding predators becomes harder. Surviving injury becomes harder. Even finding a mate becomes harder. For our ancestors, rejection wasn't embarrassing. It was dangerous. In some situations, it could be fatal. And because it was dangerous, evolution built an alarm system. A system designed to make rejection feel terrible. Not because your brain hates you, but because your brain is trying to keep you connected. The pain wasn't a bug. It was a feature. If rejection felt pleasant, people wouldn't care about maintaining relationships. If exclusion didn't hurt, people wouldn't notice when they were drifting away from their community. Pain forced our ancestors to pay attention. It motivated them to repair damaged relationships, to cooperate, to reconnect, to stay close to the group. The same way physical pain protects the body, social pain protects social bonds. And for thousands of generations, that system worked remarkably well. The problem is that the world changed, but our brains didn't. Today, getting rejected rarely threatens survival. Being ignored doesn't mean starvation. A breakup doesn't mean exile from the tribe. Not getting invited to a party doesn't mean you'll spend the winter alone in the wilderness. Yet your brain still reacts as though these ancient dangers are real. The alarm system is operating exactly as it was designed to. It's just operating in a completely different world. That's why a rejection email can ruin your entire week. That's why a negative comment can stick in your head for months. That's why a person you've only known for a few weeks can have such enormous power over your emotions. Your ancient brain isn't measuring the objective importance of the event. It's responding to what rejection meant for most of human history. But here's the interesting part. The pain of rejection reveals something important about what it means to be human. Because the same system that makes rejection hurt is also responsible for friendship, for love, for trust, for loyalty, for community. The fear of losing connection exists because connection itself is valuable. If humans didn't care about belonging, we wouldn't form tribes. We wouldn't build societies. We wouldn't fall in love. We wouldn't create friendships that last decades. The pain and the reward come from the same source. One cannot exist without the other, which means rejection isn't evidence that something is wrong with you. It's evidence that your brain is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. The next time someone ignores your message, the next time you don't get chosen, the next time a relationship ends, remember this: your brain thinks it's protecting you. It's responding to ancient rules written thousands of generations ago. Rules created in a world where belonging meant survival. A world where rejection could genuinely be dangerous. And although that world is gone, the emotional echoes remain. Every painful rejection you experience today is a reminder of a simple truth. Humans survived because they needed each other. And deep down, your brain has never forgotten it.